Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sunless Skies. In the last episode we came to Magdalene's, came back to the Reach, we did our horology. We kind of failed slightly, but we're going to ignore that bit. I think there is something else we need to do in Magdalene's, which is listen to the will of the people. A delegation has been sent to petition you in your role as minister. You listen with appropriate amounts of care to each person who begs a moment of your time. The majority are local issues, not worth bringing up in Parliament. Occasionally, inspiration strikes for a new law. You promise, with a practiced politician's sincerity, that even if there is nothing you can do, you will do it to the best of your ability. They seem mollified by that. Well, we're also here. Let's treat our nightmares. We may as well get rid of them since we are here. We've gone through this a few times. What does it cost? Moment of inspiration? Needed 0? Let's see her renewed majesty. You've been invited to a garden party in the palace. You are escorted to the lawn by a senior footman, where you are introduced to a social climbing duchess and a disgraceful viscount. You exchange witticisms together while a footman refills your glass. The peal of a single trumpet interrupts your conversation. You and the other guests are shepherded into a line as her enduring majesty passes by. He favours you with a wintry gaze before proceeding to more important guests in the marquee. Okay, that was it. We are free of our nightmares. Anything else we can do here while we are here? I don't think the amenable host has anything for me, do you? How are things at Magdalene's? Amenable host has an attendant open a fresh bottle of sparkling wine for you both. He tells you of movements in the Winchester War, of old longings quelled, of old enmities reignited, of the arrest of the passage of time. To the human heart, memory is stronger than all Her Majesty's hours. Okay, perhaps not. Do you know what? Let's go to London. Let's see if there are interesting things in London. I do believe we have our main quest in London, which is something that I am intrigued by. And by London, I meant New Winchester. Oh god, that old chestnut's back again, huh? Lovely. For the briefest of moments, I was in the correct place. And saying London was actually correct. I do need to go to Titania for something as well. I think that's for the smuggling ring, which is something that I don't know if I'll be getting into. It does make a lot of money, and I do like money. But it's also quite dangerous. I really need to repair my ship. Good lord. We are very badly damaged. Now, there is one plus side to coming back to the Ridge. There are very few things here that will try and kill me. Well, that I can't kill, anyway. I guess you have the Scribe Spinsters. I'm not a huge fan of the Scribe Spinsters. I'm pretty sure they're in the Reach. I think they're somewhere. But other than that, I'm sure it'll be fine. Absolutely nothing to worry about. Oh, hello. A star-manned explorer. Oh, I missed. Oh. He crashed into the wall, huh? The crew of this weathered engine had been driven mad by the winds and the stars and the things that haunt the sky. Let's gain random treasures. A distressingly odored barrel. Hey, one fuel. Never say no to free fuel. And here we are, coming up to New Winchester. Let's hope there's no, Who's in charge? Is it the Tacadies or is it the stovepipes? I think the stovepipes have been driven back to Port Prosper. I think the Tacadies are in control. I guess we'll find out when we get here. Hopefully the people we're looking for are still in the pub. The clamouring central station of New Winchester. A place of steam and smut and thundering iron. Here you can find people willing to pay for a skilled captain's service. Ooh. This is my ambition here, isn't it? This is what we're looking for. What a wonderful picture there. Let's repair our locomotive before I forget. How much is it going to cost me? 90? Yuck. What else is there here? The Tackety's answer? What is this? London's invention of the monitor-class locomotives has sparked alarm in the Reach. The Tacketys value their privacy and don't want Her Majesty's watchdogs freely prowling their skies. Word has it that the indurate veteran has convinced the Colonial Assembly to invest in proportionate response. Let's learn more about this appropriate response. Ask around in the more independent-minded pubs of New Winchester. After 4 pubs and rather more than 4 drinks, you manage to learn the following. Firstly, the Tacketys have embarked on a project to develop new locomotives of their own. It is only a matter of time until the first ones are completed. Secondly, that the work is taking place at the O'Brien factory at Lustrum. Thirdly, that the Tacketys are desperate for donations of expertise or bronzewood to expedite the construction. So we can bring bronzewood or crew to Lustrum. If you want to assist the Tacketys, bring munitions if you want to sabotage them. Interesting. I do remember a really big Tackety ship, but I have yet to see, so this must be it. That must be what I'm remembering. Let's explore the city quick. Anything here? Grand Premiere? Madame Lumiere has wasted no time in organising her premiere. To express her gratitude, she has given you tickets. Madame Lumiere has reopened a theatre beneath the arches of the Bishop Bridge. Prominent Tackety sit with London sympathisers. They have formed a brief truce, united in their loathing of the cramped velvet seats. A light flares on the plaster wall. The film begins. The film is titled The Consupiscence of the Verdants. Flickering images on painted lenses jerk across the wall. The camera luxuriates in the collapsing brown flesh of a fruiting fungus. The flight of a sporing body and sudden bursting of a violet fungal sac. The prolonged death spasms of a cameraman. There are gasps from the audience, so we can take in the detail. Lumiere has an exacting eye. Some of the shots are blemished, but what has been captured reveals much about the Reach's flora. This work is worth careful attention. We can admire the wider picture. If you avoid looking at the foreground, there is much to appreciate. The film strips have been painted to reveal the lush colours of the landscapes, the violent purple of the fungus. That is an awful beauty to the whole thing. Or we can close our eyes. If you put your hands over your eyes, you could almost consider this a relaxing interlude. Let's take in the detail. The final sequence of the rotting fungal husks collapsing onto the settlement is exquisite. And yet, you are the only one who remains behind to congratulate Lumiere. I wish more were so discerning, she smiles. Still, this was only a start. Please, meet me later. Okay, let's meet her again. Madame Lumiere has promised a meeting. She's currently occupying one of New Winchester's cafes. She's provided the table number. She rings for 2 cups of nectar-infused tea. I crave the stuff, she says, a smile creasing on her face like a well-used cushion. I'm too old to be lugging cameras about anymore. waiting for the perfect shot. My own fault. I could have stayed in London, but I wanted to see the stars. Thanks for helping me home. This is where I'll stay now, I think. He coughs into a yellow, stained handkerchief. Time to fund films rather than make them, I think. The coughing worsens. Please excuse me. He leaves you with a hurried goodbye. And the bill. Oh no, has she been infected by the mushroom spores? Dangerous. An opportunity. A pernickety factor. Requests a meeting. A neat calling card was waiting for you at the station. The paper was scented. The envelope ironed. The meeting takes several days to arrange. He rejects the Round Table as a venue, and all of the cafes in the Upper District, even that nice tea room under the bridges. Eventually you agree upon the parlour at Company House, which is open to visitors on a Sunday. The pernickety factor requests you change table 3 times before she is satisfied. I'm looking for several disappeared colonists. I believe their destination was Hybris. I'd be much appreciative if you were to take me there. There are a few other options here, but I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do the ambition. The seasoned captains, the lucky baroness, the bedeviled diadact, the masked citizen, and the spatchcocker Meg have been assisting the staunch intelligencer with her investigations into the fate of the stars. But your friend has disappeared, and the mysterious fire claimed her lodgings and research. Your attempt to find her has reached a dead end. By continuing her research, you might learn what happened. Well, let's inform the captains that we will be taking our friend's place. It's time they put their cards on the table. Their faces darken as you recount your experiences in London. Intolerable, the masked citizen says, knuckles white around the stem of their glass. Of course we'll help, Meg grunts. The diadact leans forward, his narrow face grim. Understand that each of us only has a piece of the puzzle. Our mutual friend insisted upon it. Only she would have the whole. She and now you. Indeed, we have each been pursuing a different strand of investigation, says the Baroness. Now we'll share them with you. Perhaps you can help us pursue them. We can further the diadact's research into the politics of suns. As we know, the suns, or more properly, judgments, are the regents and legislators of heaven. They establish the natural laws that govern existence. We'll talk to Meg about the fire that follows. The phrase was mentioned in the notes you retrieved from your friend's lodgings. Pretty sure it's a monster, Meg says, wiping her nose on her sleeve. A fire that's a monster. Assist the Baroness in her examination into how suns die. She arranges to meet you at her family home, an elegant townhouse on the edge of New Winchester. We can aid the citizens' investigation into courtesy. The phrase "the courtesy" appeared several times on the scraps of you recovered from your friend's lodgings. The citizen is already immersed in an investigation. Okay, which one of these calls to my attention? I'm assuming we're going to have to do all of them. But just in case I can only do one of them, am I interested in the politics of the suns? A monster made of fire? How do suns die? Or the mysterious phrase, the courtesy? Honestly, I think I'm kind of interested in the politics of the suns, but let's start there. With the assistance of our friend and the Royal Society's Admiral Telescope, I've been able to formulate some initial observations. Firstly, that the stars demonstrate social groupings. These have been classified into constellations and conjunctions. Constellations are small and local, comparable perhaps to kin groups or clans, a sun's extended family, if you will. Conjunctions are rather grander, and there are only a handful of them, perhaps 3 or 4. It's possible they are confederacies or nations. To say more, I require more data. Observations on and relics of the heavens. Bring the Diadact 2 otherworldly artifacts and 2 visions of the heavens. Can I do that right now? I can. And it does look like we can do all of these. You visit his tiny corner office at the university, piled with books and grotesque curios. Pushing a stack of work off the desk, he turns immediately to your materials. You leave him to it. A week later, he calls you back to discuss his findings. He serves you black, sweet tea and cup, the cup and saucer rattling in his shaking hand. All study of the suns is difficult. The judgments are vast, ancient beings of incomprehensible complexity. Any investigation is also an act of translation, rendering their concerns and structures into analogies we can comprehend. Nevertheless, I believe I better understand the conjunctions that divide them now. Imagine vast nations, but founded upon philosophy, not geography. There are 3 primary I'm going to be patient. Conjunctions. The chrysanthemum conjunction are concerned with inception, with beginnings and newness. Their counterparts, the amaranthine conjunction, believe in culmination and bringing things to completion, and the nepenthine conjunction advocates separation, distinction, isolation, the rising of barriers and the drawing of borders. He frowns. They do not get on. He wants to go on a trip. I must consult a primary source, the role of ash. I believe it will shed light on the friction between the conjunctions. There is a library in the Blue Kingdom, the Forge of Souls. We have not been to the Blue Kingdom. Let me write this down. And accept it. He begins to pack his things, mostly books and a jangling collection of amulets and talismans he retrieves from his shelves. I am unsure exactly what the role of ash is or contains. I know that it is the work of the courtesy, a topic which our masked friend is looking into. Some of our strands are beginning to tie together. Currently, the role is in the keeping of someone called the Lamentation of Mists. He boards your engine, gingerly. I've curtailed my travel lately, he says, peering suspiciously at the stars. Increasingly, I believe some things are best left undiscovered. Okay. Let's talk to Meg about the fire that followed. The phrase was mentioned in the notes you retrieved from your friend's lodgings. It's asking around. If you want to know about a monster, ask about another monster. That's what I've been doing. I've been told it's a living flame, and it burns blue. Sound familiar? You remember the description of the mysterious fire that consumed your friend's lodgings? Yeah, our friend was afraid of the fire. She was always a clever girl. Anyway, next on my list for a chat is Mr. Menagerie. He's harmless enough for a bat-faced aberration, but he don't talk for cheap. 4 caged catches should help replenish his stock. Let me know when you're ready to go. Okay, we gotta find Mr. Menagerie, huh? I can only carry one of them at a time, huh? Do I want to carry on talking to them then? Or do I want to do each one as I have them? Ooh, but that means I'm going to have to go to the Blue Kingdom. Oh no, that seems like a terrible idea. Do I want to go to the Blue Kingdom? Do you think I should go to the Blue Kingdom? I mean, I could go and look around the Blue Kingdom. I'm going to have to give that some thought. But I do think I'm going to end this episode here before we carry on talking to the people who are our seasoned captains here. I think maybe we'll go to the Blue Kingdom in the next episode. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you again to the members of the channel. Thank you again to the coffee supporters and the subscribers and everything you do. It all means the world to me. And as always, see you next time.